Hello, family. Welcome back to the African Diaspora News channel. I am Wongel Zelalem, and today we're back to talking about Kemi Badenoch, a UK politician that truly believes that she is not the race that she is. And she works extra hard to show her fellow Brits that she is one of them and not one of those people over there. Over the years, we've talked about Kemi Badenoch quite a bit. And for those of you who don't know her, don't worry, you will get to know her today. But the reason we're talking about her today is because she spoke out. She spoke that she believes the UK shouldn't have abstained in the UN slavery resolution vote. The UK, according to her, should have voted against the UN slavery resolution, the same resolution that we covered on this channel a few days ago when the UN's member states voted. The proposal was to to recognize the transatlantic slave trade as the gravest crime committed against humans. So, gravest crime against humanity was the resolution that Kemi believes that it should have never been passed and the UK should have voted against it. Although the UK abstained, in other words, they were basically um, voting against it because when you're abstaining, you're not giving your vote as well. So the fact that she wanted them to go extra mile, even though they did kind of what she wanted them to do. And this is a UK politician. And as I said, I've said this before, but I don't know if you've seen this meme or picture that goes around of a girl, a woman, she's a black woman, she's looking through the mirror at herself, her reflection, and what she's looking at is a white version of herself. So what she sees when she looks into the mirror is a white woman, not a black woman. So she cannot identify with the issues of black people, could not identify what they go through because according to her, she's one of them, and according to her, white is always right. And it's just it never ceases to amaze me how much she is so disconnected with her roots and she hates where she comes from and she never want to identify where she comes from. It's so crazy to me to just watch her talk, and I've covered her on this channel quite a bit. We talked about her before, and it is it's just it's incredibly insane how she genuinely believes she's one of them. There was a time where she said something and her own people, in case you don't know, Kemi Badenoch comes from Nigeria. She was actually born in the UK, I believe. Her mother went there to give birth to her and she went back to Nigeria and grew up there. So her ancestors, like her mom, her dad, her whole entire family comes from Nigeria. But Kemi, after I believe in her teenage years, she was sent to the UK to go to school. And that's where I guess she lived most of her adult life. And she told us that she doesn't intend on renewing her Nigerian citizenship, or is it passport? Because she does not belong there. And she is running for even like a next, if I'm not mistaken, they wanted to kick her out. I'm sure I have the clip here for you. So she works so hard, and I believe her husband is white as well. So she works extra hard, very hard to blend in, to fit in. But her own people, the people that she calls her own, um, have some things to tell her, like, you're not one of us. I'll show you the clip, don't worry about it. But yeah, she said no. But in case you you need a reminder, the UN resolution had in total, the votes were in favor. 123 countries voted in favor, and then 52 countries abstained, including the UK. Kemi's UK, and three countries voted yes, no, against it. The three countries are America, Israel, and Argentina. So that was the resolution. Eventually, it did pass. The member states voted, and majority of the countries voted yes. So now, um, slavery, the transatlantic slavery, is recognized as the gravest crime committed against humanity. So let me just refresh your memory of our beloved Kemi, of some of the things that we've covered about her throughout the years. Let me share my screen with you. UK politician Kemi Badenoch is getting her karma. And to be honest, we can't say we didn't see it coming. She talked about her people like they're beneath her. She said some disparaging things about Nigerians and just generally Black people. And it seemed like, with everything that she was saying, she wanted to belong to the white community so bad.
Kemi feeds into the mentality by doing something called confirmation bias, that the Black people you subjugated over the years remain down. So it's good for her to say these things bad about her country, so that the white nationalists and the supremacists she's trying to incur her to get their votes will continue to support her. And you know why she's doing that? Because she's also in a race with Nigel Farage of Reform Party to show who is more very right-wing and hardline. That's the game she's playing.
But now, I guess it's time for Kemi to get her reality check. The same people she wants to be part of so bad might not want her to be part of them. According to reports, 6 months after Kemi Badenoch was elected leader of the UK Conservative Party, internal discussions have already shifted towards the possibility of replacing her. Oh yeah, this was what I was talking about. They voted, yeah. And there was a time where the prime minister also said this about her. Wait, let me show you. Politician Kemi Badenoch gets her reality check in front of the world. Watch this clip, we'll come back and discuss.
Over the weekend, I suggested to the Prime Minister that he cut the aid budget, and I'm pleased that he accepted my advice.
I'm going to have to let the Leader of the Opposition down gently. She didn't feature in my thinking at all. I was so busy over the weekend I didn't even see her proposal. I think she's appointed herself, I think, saviour of the Western civilization. It's a desperate search for relevance.
That has to sting. She has appointed herself as the savior of the Western civilization, and that is what Kemi embodies. And it's just very unfortunate. I know some people say she has every right to not want to associate with where she comes from, and if she identifies as a Brit, she should always go full force. It's okay. And my thing is, okay, if she has picked this race and people as her own, and fine, but why does she have to drag the people that she come from every chance she gets? If it's not talk about her people on a podcast, she'll talk about them on a stage, a global stage, and say some horrendous things about her people. Everyone in this world has good and bad. Every race has good and bad, but it gives off, like, at least when it comes to Kemi, she highly focuses on the negative when it comes to her own people, but highly focuses on the positive when it comes to the British and the people that she calls her own. That's the double standards. That's like, if you're going to be like that, be like that across the board. Because even now she's talking about how the British should not pay reparations because it's the British that abolished slavery or worked towards stopping it. But then she never addresses or talks about how the same people that owned slaves were given reparations for losing their slaves. But the people that were enslaved were never compensated. So according to her, you just need to focus on the people, those people that she sees as her own, and that's all she cares about, and that's all she just will focus on, the positive in that area. That's why it gives off disingenuous. If you're gonna be fair about your assessment, or if you want to talk about all the horrible things that is going on or all the wrong things your people do, how about the same people now you're claiming to be part of? Like, what do you mean? Like, the people that you're claiming as your own are the ones that colonized your ancestors. Like, your mom and dad are Nigerian. You just grew up or lived half of your life in the UK. That's pretty much it. And every chance they get, these people call her out and tell her that she's not part of them. And why would you want to be in that kind of position? I don't get it. But if that makes her happy, we love it for her. But we can disagree on her decisions and what she said in regards to this resolution. She thought, or she says, that UK should have been against it, and that's just ridiculous. That is ridiculous. But then it's expected from Kemi. Oh, there's one more clip I wanted to show you before I forget. Give me a second. I believe it's this one. I could be wrong. Let me see. Is it this one? No, not this one. I think this might be the one. Is it this one? Maybe not, but let's see. UK politician Kemi Badenoch is back, and this time she is proposing for a deportation bill. She wants this immigrants to just go away. Watch this clip, we'll come back and discuss.
From next year, 2 million immigrants could automatically claim British citizenship. 2 million people. That's nearly twice the population of Birmingham. That's massive. We've introduced a deportation bill because we're committed to bringing immigration down. Back in February, we demanded Labour triple the time for new immigrants to get a British passport. They voted it down. And now they brought in some half-assed version that's not going to work.
So in this yes, fam, this was not the one I wanted to show you, but it was part of the lineup, which is fine. It's still something that we've covered before. So I think it's this one. I don't know why I keep losing it. I think the title is a British journalist. Okay, I think it's this one. Oh, it's not showing you. Let me just do this one more time. And we'll have to agree with him, because the way she's been moving has been creating a lot of backlash and chaos, and to the point where the vice president of Nigeria told her to change her name because of the way she was talking about Nigeria. But I believe this journalist made a great point. Watch this clip, we'll come back and discuss.
Nigeria's vice president launches attack on Tory leader Kemi Badenoch. Kashim Shettima's comments follow criticism by the Conservative leader of the country where she grew up. What do you make of this diplomatic row, if you like?
It's not a very good look for Kemi Badenoch, I would say. But ultimately, when politicians make comments like this, it's always for their own political capital. And I would say the comments of the Nigerian vice president very much buy into something which is happening in the Nigerian media, where there are lots of media figures who attack Kemi Badenoch. And so the Nigerian vice president has seen that and has decided he wants to cash in on that anger for the way that she's speaking about the country that she grew up in after she was born in England. But at the same time, you never saw Priti Patel or Rishi Sunak talk about India in the way that Kemi Badenoch talks about Nigeria. And I would simply say, if you are a Brexiteer and you're saying we need to be expanding our global trade beyond the European Union, we want to be looking at emerging markets for growth, fastest growing markets, don't slag off one of the fastest growing economies in Africa with one of the youngest populations that you have a personal link to. I mean, the Nigerian vice president told her to change her name. That's embarrassing. Imagine how her family must feel about that. So I think she just needs to be a little bit more careful with her language. I think she can make the points that she makes about growing up in Nigeria without upsetting one of the biggest economies in Africa at the same time.
Yeah. So I like the point that this journalist brought. There are other British politicians as well. Their ancestry is not white. They come from India, Pakistan, whatever. But they still, when they are promising the British people that they will deliver, they care about the people, they're going to look out for them, watch out for them, do what needs to be done, all the stuff that politicians promise you before they get into office and forget about everything that they promised you. You never hear them talk down to their people or talk about their people the way she talks about her people. That's where the disconnect is. That's where a lot of people feel some type of way about her, because she's not just focusing on those that she claims to care about, but she always somehow have to drag her people, okay, her people as in her parents and her grandparents, and you know what I mean, like her people, even though according to her those are not her people. She doesn't have to do that. She doesn't need to do that. That's where I guess we disagree, right? Yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's see what you guys are saying. Sorry. Let's get, oh wow, today you guys wow, oh my goodness, what a chat. You guys chose violence today. I'm not like, okay. Let's get into Brian. Hi, Renz. Brian said, who you date is one of the purest forms of information about where your alliance truly is. That is a direct reflection of your contribution to the future of this planet. I hear this argument a lot. And surprisingly, I don't know if you guys noticed this too. A lot of, okay, I don't want to say a lot of, some people I have seen like are the ones that are the most pro-black, unity of black people, black love, black people. They're married to like other races, and I'm like, okay, but does that really change though? That is where I'm like, I'm not sure. I know people argue that it changes how you look at them, but I know, like personally, I know like there's this, okay, I don't want to name her, but she loves our people, and then she's married to a white person, and I've heard like our mutuals questioning like, is she really authentic? And I do believe genuinely she cares, she really cares about our people. But then, you know, I don't know, does that really, I don't want to, I don't know, let's just say I don't know about that, but I do hear that argument. I just don't know if I completely agree with their alliance will totally shift if they're not married to black people. They could still care, but maybe they didn't choose who they fall in love with. I know this is controversial, please don't come for me, but I don't know. I choose not to I don't know. Anyways, anywho, yeah, clearly though, if we're talking about Kemi, she is married to a white man. Brian said a lot of people are living in integrated spaces, including Americans, Britons. So it's not obvious about why being selective shows integrity towards our community given their society mistreats. That is true. Wisdom said Africans, Nubia, early Egyptians empire had slaves for over 2,000 years. Child of God, these are the types of immigrants we have in the US. That also really surprises me, how they are children of immigrants, right? Like, you can disagree for those that are indigenous to the land or the locals or the people that belong there. I get it when they're like getting a little bit, I don't know, uncomfortable when there are so many migrants coming to their country. They're questioning, like, are they going to replace us? Are they taking our jobs? Like, I get that argument. But then when you yourself is an immigrant in someone else's country, and clearly it's not like she's white passing, right? Like, it's clear to see that she's not. And not only that, she grew up most of her life in Nigeria, right? And I think for school, she was born in the UK. Her mom went and gave birth to her in the UK so that she gets the citizenship. And the mom returned, allegedly, and then they grew up there, and then she went back. Now she is against the same kind of people that are, her own, like, not just Nigerians, but just generally people that are migrating to the UK for the same reason that her people did it. She's like, that's where she draws the line. She's like, she got in and then she quickly locks the door. That kind of person. I'm not in their shoes, so I don't know what the mentality is when they sit down and think, okay, I did it or my parents did it, but I don't want other people to do it. What's the argument? I don't know, is it rational? I don't get it. I don't get that, but because it just sounds hypocritical. Why are you so special? Why are you so different? Why can you do that but others can't? What's the difference? Brian said, if that choice for the future reflects a desire to escape anti African phenotype discrimination, what is essentially generalized as self hate, it's a form of community disruption from within. Child of God said, 3 years ago, these same Black immigrants were jumping in Black Americans' business, screaming that we didn't deserve reparations. Now they want in on the reparations. If we're talking about Kemi, she's actually saying no. Specifically, I don't know, because we're talking about Kemi was saying no, but if you're talking about other immigrants saying no, that is hilarious to me. If you are an immigrant from anywhere in the world and you're going to the US, and if a conversation is coming up and Black Americans are saying we want reparations, who are you to say they don't get like you have no say? You have, just shut up, in my opinion. Like, why are you even talking? If we're talking about now, for example, in a country level, like what Ghana is doing, or what, let's say, other countries like Algeria, I believe, is also asking for France to admit, to say sorry, and then compensate, because they've unalived so many people there. And also Namibia, I remember Namibia and Germany also have this back and forth in court for the Namibians that were unalived. So if you're a Namibian, go ask Germany for what they've done. Who are you, unless, I'm just giving an example, as a Namibian, to move to the US, live in the US, and say no to reparations that has nothing to do with you? That is a conversation between Black Americans and their government. It's bizarre to me that people are doing that. You're saying that they're doing that. I haven't seen it, so I don't know. But if that's the case, that's just laughable. It's not even up for a discussion. Um BS in Clar Future. I'm sorry, I don't know how to read your name. Said the FBA descendants of U.S. slaves see you, we hear you, and we'll remember your betrayal. Yeah, I don't think she cares, but yes, but I don't think she cares. If she does not care about her own Nigerian people and how she talks about them, I don't care. I don't think if she cares about any other group other than the Brits that she is trying to please and be part of. But yeah, I'm glad she's showing her true colors. At least, I don't know, there's something I like about when people show you their true colors instead of, being a snake and pretending like they care, pretending like they're with you, and then behind the scenes make decisions, pass laws that will hurt you. At the very least, she's been very clear. And so you know what you're dealing with, right? Wisdom said Ghana, Nigeria, Arabs, Somalia were selling conquered slaves during transatlantic slave trade. They sold slaves to the UK. But I thought that, okay, Ghana, I don't know, but the Somalia, that's like the East Africa, right? Like the Arab slave trade? Or you're talking about Brian said many multi-ethnic people with parents of sorry, I have like a cold, contrasted background, European or African, are very European leaning, and it's sad to see personally how they victim blame. So is it, I think if you're talking about like if it's a mix of white and black and how they rather like lean into the European side, it's because of the world right now. It's the society. It's looked down upon, right? If you like, there's a hierarchy, and in that hierarchy, most of the times we are being put in the bottom. So when these kids are mixed, I guess the reason why they would choose that one is so that they survive in this world. They think that they will tap into more opportunities, more benefits if they side with the other side that is currently, benefiting from the, let's say, the systemic racism, from the all those, it adds up, it compounds eventually. Even if you don't see it right now directly, most of this wealth that has been passed down came from somewhere, and so they have an advantage. So these kids probably growing up, they'll see, oh, okay, if I identify this side, I'm going to get more benefits. So maybe that's why they are more, leaning towards that, because we have to be fair, this world has not been fair to us. So maybe that's why. Wisdom said all human civilizations were involved in slavery. FBAs were the ones who stood up to slave masters and triggered civil war in USA to end slavery, but Africa is building now back to greatness. Child of God said they did not colonize her ancestors. Her ancestors were partners. Why do you people refuse to see the truth about black sellouts? There are black sellouts, and we've talked about this here before, but I don't think it's fair to generalize and say everyone was a sellout. The same way in every community right now, as we speak, there are sellouts in every community. Even now, I believe you're FBA, right? So even in the FBA, you can't tell me that everyone is outstanding and is playing by the books, and there's no scammers and there's no liars. You can't say that. Like, every community had that, and in that time, yes, in Nigeria there might have been sellouts, but we cannot say that everyone was selling their own brothers and sisters and selling that's just not true, and that's not accurate, and I don't think it's fair to do that, to be honest with you. Though it's important to talk about the whole entire part of the history and to have a conversation about it, because it did happen. But the sellouts were not the majority. The sellouts were not like everyone that was sold was not because of selling out, right? So Wisdom said Kemi is just a sellout wannabe European. She's being used to hate on Africans. She should be proud African. Instead, she wants to be so white she will not get any respect. And the thing is, she's not even getting respect from that side. There's so many stories we've covered of her own party talking about her badly. The people that want to vote conservative talking about how they want to vote, but then she's there, so they don't feel comfortable. They genuinely don't think she belongs there, and she's doing the most to be accepted. Why try so hard? Like, just give your policies what you're trying to do and let them vote based on that, the merits, not by trying to be like them, by assimilating. But assimilation has different stages. Hers is downright, like, I don't know what to call it, hating on her people to be liked by someone else. Like, the fact that you want to do that on its own says a lot about the situation in the UK. Why would that even be necessary? You as a politician, the only thing you should do is commit to them that you will deliver on the policies, on the things that they care about. Why do you need to show them that, like, I have detached from these people, I do not like these people are horrible? If you base it on that, like on hatred, how far can you even go? And it's already cracking. Like, I don't think they are fans of her, at least most of them. Because at the end of the day, you have to understand she's trying to appeal to a community that does not like her people, like at least what she represents when it comes to skin color, background. They don't. They don't like that. And she is trying to stand next to them and say, I don't like it too. So we're in it together. And they're like, no, we're not. You're not one of us. So it's kind of like sad and embarrassing. Brian said it's because those nonverbal cues they can read from the pattern of their birth and how their African parents would need to see the world in order to make their lifestyle choice. Child of God said when Europe colonized Africa, those same people were administrators for them. When colonization ended, Europe placed them in the political ruling and economic class. That I agree with you, child of God. When colonization ended, for the most part, the power transitioned to the elites, the chosen, the ones that they handpicked in order to control and continue the colonization in a different way, like in an invisible way behind the scenes. They're the puppeteers, and then they'll have their puppets. So it was done in a way where, yes, on paper it has ended, but in actuality, in real life, there's something that has not changed, quite literally, because they also run the show behind the scenes. It's just the people that you see now at the forefront are those that were handpicked by those that left, allegedly. So yeah. So yeah. Oh, there's so many chats I am missing. Yeah. So fam, thank you for watching. I see there's a heated conversation and chats, and it's okay as long as you keep it respectful. We can agree to disagree. I'll see you tomorrow, same time. Stay blessed. Bye.